Hey, brand builder, Rory Vaden here. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this interview. As always, it's our honor to provide it to you for free. And wanted to let you know there's no big sales pitch or anything coming at the end. However, if you are someone who is looking to build and monetize your personal brand, we would love to talk to you and get to know you a little bit and hear about some of your dreams and visions and share with you a little bit about what we're up to see if we might be a fit. So if you're interested in a free strategy call with someone from our team, we would love to hear from you. You can do that at brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall, brandbuildersgroup.com/podcall. We hope to talk to you soon.
So another powerful interview, educational, informative, entertaining, at least for me, listening to Eric Solomon talk about how to create great videos. And, you know, the first, I guess, highlight or the first recap I want to share with you, it wasn't so much something specifically from Eric. I learned a bunch, from Eric, and I'll talk about a couple of those key things in just a second. But I honestly want to share with you and just let you know this because I feel like maybe you need to hear this, which is that for me personally, I have spent a large part of my career frustrated that I have to do all this stuff. Like frustrated that I have to deal with marketing and sales because it's like, I started my personal brand because I wanted to impact lives, right? Like I wanted to help people. I wanted to dedicate my time. I wanted to dedicate my life to researching and finding answers and solving problems that made my life better. And then also transitioning or passing those lessons and those principles along to other people. I never wanted to learn about marketing. I didn't want to have to learn how to write copy. I didn't want to have to learn about video editing. I don't want to have to learn about websites. I don't want to have to learn about social media. I don't want to have to learn about podcasting equipment. I didn't want to have to learn about funnels and marketing automation, right? Like all of these things that end up absorbing such an exorbitant amount of our time and our energy and our resources, for me, is frustrating and has been frustrating because those are not the things that I wanted to do. Like those are not the reasons why I started building a personal brand in the first place. And yet those are things I have to do. And I spend a lot of time doing, and we spend a lot of money on hiring people and getting stuff done and having to learn lessons like this one. And if that is frustrating to you or has ever been frustrating to you, I can relate with you on that, right? Marketing is frustrating. It's like, to me, it's been a necessary, almost like a necessary evil, is in order to get the chance to do what I really want to do, which is impact lives and help people and make a difference and solve real problems and do meaningful work and be an actual expert and study my craft. And so for much of my life, I've been frustrated, or much of my career, I've been frustrated that I've sort of held back from doing what I really want to do at a bigger level because I'm not so great at marketing and because I never had a passion for marketing. And that has always been frustrating to me until really just a couple years ago, I had a huge epiphany. And this is an epiphany I want to share with you because I think there's a chance that this might matter to you if you are dealing with some of that frustration and you're going, look, I want to make art, right? Like I want to do my thing. I want to work on my craft. I want to create art. And the epiphany that I had a few years ago was when I realized that marketing is art. Marketing is art. Marketing is part of your artistry. Marketing is part of your craft. Marketing is part of how you earn the right for your work to be heard and to be seen and to make an impact. It's not just enough to create the work. I have to do the work of telling people about the work, which is marketing. And that is something that has taken me a long time to get to. But the moment you have that realization that you go, oh, marketing is art. Marketing is part of my artistry. Marketing is part of my craft. Marketing is as necessary a part of the art as creating the art itself. That my job, my responsibility, my privilege, my obligation, my opportunity as the artist in creating the art is also to do the work of marketing it and telling people about it and sharing it with people. Marketing is art. And so these are necessary conversations to have. These are necessary things to learn. These are necessary skill sets to develop, or to at least be able to become competent at hiring other people to do for you. And I know it's hard, and I know it's, probably not the primary thing. And so much of what we teach people and help people with at Brand Builders Group is templates and toolkits and systems and strategies and techniques and frameworks and charts and systems to help automate and streamline as much of the marketing elements so that you can really focus your energy in the area of your passion, which is whatever your artistry is and whatever your craft is. So I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to be encouraged. And I hope for you to have that same realization that I had, because it made a big difference for me. It made a big difference because instead of fighting all of these things and being annoyed that I have to do them and being resistant to social media and being resistant to copywriting and graphic design and websites and marketing automation and paid traffic acquisition and making sales calls and building, press kits and having to hire people and vendors and like all of the necessary elements that are part of the work, instead of being resistant to that, I have been able to finally turn the corner and embrace that. And I think that that's been a huge part of the success of Brand Builders Group, is because I've said, oh, this is where we can create so many tools and so many processes and systems and checklists and templates to help our clients with these parts, this part of the work. And this is work. And the other thing that I would say, so one of, mentality wise, and getting your mindset around creating great video, which is really what that interview is about. And I'm just sort of rounding it out here to some of these other necessary things you have to do as part of being a mission-driven messenger and getting your message out, is the other way to, so one way to look at it is that marketing is art, and all of these things are necessary part of your art. Part of the art is telling people that the art exists. And that's a noble and important part of the artistry. Otherwise, no one ever gets to experience. And so that art never actually fulfills its purpose. The other part of it that I would say, which is also something that I've had to coach myself on and slap myself in the face every once in a while and go like, yeah, there's parts of this you don't want to do. Of course there are. There's parts of any business that you don't want to do. There's parts of anything it takes to be successful, i.e. my first book, Take the Stairs, right? The whole premise of that book is realizing that successful people are willing to do the things they know they need to do and they know they should do, even when they don't feel like doing them, because they realize that they're a necessary part of achieving the goals that they have in life. People who are successful take the stairs. They do the things that other people aren't willing to do. They do the things that they don't like to do because they know they must be done in order to, and as part of a necessary stepping stone to the things that we want to do and to achieving the things, the goals that we have for our life, and for the purpose of living our purpose. We must do things we don't want to do. So I wanted to give you that context. That was sort of my first highlight, my first takeaway, my first aha, which wasn't necessarily so much from something Eric said, but just kind of having this almost out-of-body experience, relearning principles that I've had to learn in the past and go like, yeah, normally I wouldn't care about these things because they're like ancillary to what my main focus is, which is changing lives. But over time, I've really developed a love and a passion for this kind of stuff. And if you didn't listen to that interview with Eric, I mean, you got to go listen to it. I mean, hearing him talk about how, his art is editing video. I mean, video production, not editing video, but like producing a video, a finished video product. And it's amazing, and it's transformative. We've also interviewed one of the things we did for our members is we interviewed our creative director. She's going to be on the podcast as well, talking about visual identity and graphic design, which are all things that, to me was like, I don't want to learn this. This isn't really my thing. And it's like, no, this is a part of it. And it's a beautiful part of it. And it's a necessary part. So marketing is art. And there's going to be things that you just have to do that you don't feel like doing. So that's the first thing. The second thing on the topic specifically of what makes great video. And for me, the most powerful moment or the most powerful concept in the entire interview with Eric was when he said, focus on feelings, not on facts. Focus on feelings, not on facts. When you're producing a video, when you're creating a video piece for whatever it is, whether it's Instagram or, this, that, or whatever, focus on feelings and not on facts. In other words, the purpose of the video isn't to convey information. The purpose of the video is to convey emotion, to convey a feeling, to convey this transference of this energy of what it's like to do business with you, to hire you or your team or your company. That's what video does in such a powerful way. And I would say that's also true about great copywriting. Right. So those of you that are members of ours, that we teach a very specific framework that, again, was life-changing for us once we figured this out. It's called the 15 P's of copywriting. And it is how to come up with the exact words that you need to put on a page in order to get someone to pull out their credit card and buy something from you. Well, the whole concept of the 15 P's is just a structure to help move the audience emotionally, to move the reader emotionally. That's also what makes great photography. If you go back and you listen to the interview that we did with Nick Onken, who's a celebrity photographer of like Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and the Pope and all these people, right? And also the interview that we did with Lewis Howes, where we were talking about photography, and it's great photography captures a feeling. It's a state, it's an emotion, it's an energy. That's what great copywriting does. That's what great graphic design does. That's what great video editing does. And so it was interesting, for me, I'm tying back, and some of those episodes are pretty old. Like Lewis was one of the very first people we interviewed on this podcast. So it's been a couple years. I've been on his show 6 or 7 times in the last couple years, but he's only been on this show once. And then Nick Onken, who's also Lewis's photographer and also has become mine and AJ's, primary photographer for major photo shoots, is, that was older too, but it's the same. You'll hear the same thing when our creative director comes on and she's talking about how we do visual identity, or Nick talking about photography, Nick or Lewis talking about photography, is us teaching the 15 P's, us teaching the presentation. One of our official courses for our members is called World-Class Presentation Craft, and we teach all of these mastery level stage mechanics for how to develop characters and use your voice and write stories and create content and lay out visuals and create pillar points. All of these techniques use humor, the psychology of laughter, which are all focused on one thing: moving the audience emotionally. Move the audience emotionally. They need to have an emotional reaction. They need to have an emotional response. And that's what Eric was saying about what makes great video, right? And I have to think of another great example of this. Somebody who does video really well is Eric Thomas. So Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher, who is another one of our Brand Builders Group clients. And we just ran his book launch for him. And we just hit the New York Times bestseller list a few weeks ago, which was fantastic. But AJ and I had been fans of Eric's for years before he ever became a client. And he, has over 5 million followers, and he's got, hundreds of millions of video views, because when you watch Eric on video, it moves you emotionally, right? It's not even so much what he's saying as how he's saying it. You have this physiological response, right? That's what makes a great speaker. Ed Milet is also that way, another one of our clients, right? And Ed, when Ed's on stage, he as a speaker, he creates this, you're listening, you have a physiological response, your heart rate changes based on the way he's using his voice. And those are things that we teach, how you're using your voice, how you're using humor, how you're telling stories, the structure of things, all these different things. And that's what a great video should do. And I think the part of why I'm harping on this is to go, look, if you don't know anything else about video, all you have to know is that when somebody watches it, does it move them emotionally? And does it create the energy in the viewer that you want that viewer to experience? And is that the energy? Does the video portray the energy of your brand? Does your video portray the energy of you as the messenger? And again, I just can't help but talk about this concept and apply it also to, does your copywriting do that? Does your photography do that? Does your graphic design do that? Does your speech do that? Like, these are all aspects of marketing and personal branding, which have to just map back and tie directly to creating a specific energy or emotion for your viewer and for your audience. And that's just so powerful. My third takeaway, and this is something that I truly have learned from Eric that I'd never heard before, that has really been a game changer for our business, is leveraging the power of the interview format. Leverage the power of the interview format for video. Now, not just for like podcast interviews, we all see people do interviews for that. But he was saying, like, rather than trying to write a script for a marketing video for your company, interview your clients or hire somebody like Eric to interview them for you, and interview them on video and ask questions in a way that's going to solicit or elicit the responses from them about what it's like to do business with you. And when you get your actual customers just talking, then you're able to take that and that becomes the gold. Now, a lot of times so that's one thing is interviewing your customers, but the other thing is interview yourself or have somebody interview you. So like, rather than trying to write the perfect script of what am I going to say on this promotional, let's say it's a promotional video, what you would do is you just have somebody interview you in a way that you can just sort of like unload on them, like emotionally, just like sort of unload or pop off on like this rant about why you do what you do and who you do it for and why did you start this brand or this company and what does it mean to you and why is it important and who is it for, and just creating that eruption of emotion and sort of puking that out on camera, and then being able to go back in post-production and edit that. That will take a lot of pressure off you. And Eric does it brilliantly. The very first project he ever did for us was he created a testimonial video, which is still on our homepage at brandbuildersgroup.com. It's so good. And AJ and I aren't even in the video. Like, no one, there's a couple of our strategists that are in the video, but it's mostly our customers talking about what it is like to do business with us. And that's still on the homepage of brandbuildersgroup.com, or if you go to freebrandcall.com/podcast, it'll take you right to it. And you can see the video of our customers talking about what it's been like to work with us and do business with us. And so interviewing is super powerful, but it's also a great way for you to create content. Okay. So I've been talking about in the context of like promotional videos, like, a great example is with the speaker demo video, and Eric talks about these. He said two, but I'm going to say the three types of video that every personal brand needs is you need a personal brand or like a bio video, which is a short bio about you, which by the way, if you go to my Instagram handle, which is at Rory Vaden, I have pinned to the top of my Instagram my new personal brand little bio video that Eric produced for me, and you can just go look at it. I've got it pinned to the top, so it will always be up there no matter when you listen to this. And it's a 60-second bio video, and even in that bio video, you'll see there's customer testimonials from Lewis Howes and Eric Thomas and Ed Milet in even that little 60-second video, I've got 3 little miniature testimonials, and the whole video is really testimonials from our clients and our friends introducing me on their shows. It's, Eric put that together. He did a great job. So you can go look at that as an example of what a 60-second personal brand video looks like, which is also like a customer testimonial. And so anyways, you need 3 types of videos. You need a personal brand or like a bio video. You need customer testimonial videos, like, or case study videos, as he called them. And then you need a speaker demo video. I've got 2 brand new speaker demos that Eric has worked on for me, but we're not releasing them live yet, I don't think, until we release, we're updating roryvaden.com. And so that'll be all part of it. So when that happens, I'll make an announcement and you can go check out the new roryvaden.com. But the interview format for promotional video is super powerful, but the interview format for a speaker demo video is especially a powerful tip, because when you're editing a speaker demo video, you have footage of you speaking on all these different stages at all these events, but they often don't perfectly fit a through line of exactly the story you want to tell when you're trying to sell yourself as a speaker, because those are videos of you doing what you actually do. Those are not videos of you selling what you actually do. And so the way to fill in the blanks there, and the backbone of their whole demo video, can be an interview with you. And so somebody can interview you on camera, and they can interview you. And the first time we did it with Eric, he did it over Zoom, like straight up, just high quality, as high quality Zoom would put out, interviewed us. And that become the baseline, like, for sort of like, when I say the through line, it's the thread through the whole video. And then you're interspersing customer testimonial clips and, media clips and you on stage and all the things that go into a full demo video. But you become the through line in an interview, direct to camera format, or typically you're not talking right at the camera. You're typically like looking off the lens just a little bit. And that's super powerful. But the other place that we're seeing interview formats show up now for our clients is when you need to create content videos. So, for example, some of our clients struggle to build their first webinar, and they don't know, they'll be like, they struggle to get the slides together, or they don't know the right format, or they're worried about what they're going to say, or they just get nervous talking directly to the camera. And so one of the things we can do for them is we can interview them. And basically the interview becomes the webinar. And so rather than a recording of like a talking head over some slides, it becomes an actual conversation. And so we've done it. We've helped clients do that for webinars. A lot of people will write books that way. They'll have somebody interview them, record the whole interview. It could take, a few days even. Record the whole interview, get it transcribed, and then send it to an editor and have them turn that into a book. We've done that way. We have done it for book launch bonuses. In fact, I mentioned Eric Thomas a couple times here. This is what we did for Eric Thomas. I did this for Matthew West also. So one of our clients is Matthew West. He's one of my favorite Christian musicians of all time. He's a 25 Grammy nominees, 5-time Grammy nominated artist and 25 #1 singles, Matthew West. And anyways, when we did his book launch, I interviewed Matthew about his book, and that interview became the bonus content for people who pre-ordered his book. And also at the end of that interview, we sold the upgrade, the bulk packages. That's all stuff we teach in Bestseller Launch Plan, which is one of our phase 3 curriculums on how to do these book launches. By the way, we just had our 11th client. Our 11th client this last week hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. The 11th time we've had one of our clients hit the New York Times or Wall Street Journal or USA Today bestseller list just in the last couple of years. Our book launching stuff is on lockdown. But one of the things we do is we create these bonuses to get people to pre-order. And one of the bonuses is this reverse interview or this masterclass where it's like, you don't have to even think about or plan for the content. You just get someone to interview you, and that becomes the bonus. And then we do this kind of sales pitch at the end to get people to upgrade and buy in bulk. But anyways, the interview format. And then one of our implementation partners for social media is now doing this for our clients, when our clients struggle to create content every week, like, we teach this content diamond process, which I've taught here before. If you go to roryvadenblog.com and you search for content diamond, I've taught the whole thing, and we've made that available for free. It's an amazing training on how we do social media, and it starts with a source 7-minute video of you talking to camera. Well, some of our clients struggle with that. And so one of our implementation partners is so brilliant, started interviewing clients and just giving them like 3 or 5 questions every week to answer. And the interview format becomes the source content for the entire content diamond. It fills their whole social media calendar for the week. And they don't have to like prepare what they're going to say. They just answer these questions, and then they edit together the interview as the source content. I mean, it's really, really great. So you maybe haven't thought about the power of the interview format in all of these different ways. And that was, really eye-opening when I first met Eric. And now he's taken us through his process several times. So there you have it. Some of my big highlights and takeaways. Hopefully those are inspiring and powerful for you too. And just remembering that, marketing is art. Part of your artistry is letting people know that your art exists. And what is art other than a piece of work that moves people emotionally? So when you're creating art, create some body of work that moves people emotionally. That's what makes an artist. Thanks for being here. Make sure you come back. Share this episode with somebody you know who needs to learn about video editing and marketing as artistry. Would love it if you leave a review and rate us on iTunes, and just, share this with somebody you think it would be useful for. Have a great week, everyone. We'll catch you next time on the Influential Personal Brand Podcast.